Hello my friends and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. In yesterday's video, we spent a lot of time talking to Josephine and Menave about things, and then at the very end we talked to Leliana. So we're still in the beautiful location of Haven. Wow, it is really, really beautiful. It looks extremely cold, but it said we were in the mountains and, they're right there, so obviously. But it is just, even the hole in the sky is beautiful. So anyway, in today's video, we are hopefully going to talk to Leliana and get that all sorted, and then continue this Haven's Best and Brightest quest and talking to as many people as we can. So let's just get started and see how far we can get. So they were talking about some guy who betrayed them, I think, at the end of the video yesterday. So let's see what they have to say now.
There were so many questions surrounding Farria's death. Did he think we wouldn't notice? He's killed Farria, one of my best agents, and knows where the others are. You know what must be done. Make it clean. Painless if you can. We were friends once.
Wow, Leliana is... It's not our sweet Lily from Dragon Age Origins anymore, is it? And... I don't know, she's a spymaster, so that's probably how she needs to be. So I can stop Leliana from killing the traitor agent. Why? Encourage Leliana to kill the traitor agent. Why? And remain silent. I feel like Theron's going to remain silent because it's not like he's her boss, so why would his opinion mean anything outside of being this Herald of Andraste person? Anyway, we're going to go with remain silent because that's what I feel like doing.
It will be done.
I'm sorry you had to see that. Trust me. Everything I do is to protect our interests. Now, if you're happy, I have more work to do.
Harsh, right? Super harsh. Okay, let's talk to Lily.
Reports of fade rifts and demons keep coming. The people are terrified, and it's only getting worse. The only thing that will calm their fears now is the hope that someone out there can save them. You have to be that someone. No one else has any power over the rifts. Seal them. Your legend will spread, and Thedas will learn to trust the Inquisition.
Well, why do you care about the mages?
Why do you want me to seek out the rebel mages? Why do you care?
I've known mages. Some of them were better people than me. And yet I'm free and they're not. It's not right.
Okay. We know she knew Wynne, who was totally a good person. But she also knew Morgan, who wasn't so much a good person. Any updates? Let's do that last. And then you are Justinia's left hand.
They called you the left hand of the divine.
That they did? What of it?
Well... tell me more about Justinia.
I'd like to hear about Justinia. What was she like?
A friend. A mentor. Like me, she had secrets, made mistakes. It made her human. I think her followers responded to that.
Were you more than friends? Well, let's ask how you met first.
How did you and Justinia meet?
I met her a long time ago, before she became divine. Before she was Justinia. When I met her, she was Mother Dorothea. I was at my lowest. Broken, lost. And she saved me. No, wait. She hates it when I say that. I saved myself. She just showed me it was possible.
Were you more than friends? I don't really think they were, but I feel obligated to ask it anyway, even though I think it's not... Theron wouldn't ask the question. Anyway, moving on.
Was there something more than friendship between you?
You're asking if we were lovers? Typical. I was devoted to her, therefore it must be romantic. Love is common. Love is simple. My bond with Justinia was something greater. She was a sister, a mother, a teacher. So to answer your question, yes, It was more than friendship.
Why start an Inquisition?
What is the point of an Inquisition?
Justinia would have started the Inquisition if the Divine Conclave failed to restore peace. She hoped that with enough support, we could challenge the very tenets of the Chantry. She wanted the Chantry to treat the mages fairly. But sometimes I wonder, why stop at mages? The Chantry has committed many injustices. If we're going to change it, why not change the whole thing? It's just a thought. None of this will be possible if we fail.
I mean, she does make a good point, but maybe you should just baby step it. Too much change too fast, and things tend to people get really upset. So I'm sorry she died. I'll try my best. What will that happen? Well, let's just go with I'll try my best.
I'll try not to break anything.
That's good to hear.
Okay. Why don't you join my party?
I could use the left hand of the divine at my side out there.
That'd be awesome.
Every agent out in the world is my eyes, my ears, my blade. Wherever my people are, I am also. Coming with you, leaving my post, would blind and bound me. Do you see?
So I guess that means she won't be one of my party members. What is the left hand?
What exactly does the left hand of the divine do?
A divine always has enemies, and Justinia had more than most. I protected her. I watched, had an ear to every door. I identified threats, and I dealt with them.
Yeah, why so many enemies? I mean, she's the head of a religious order, so I mean, that's going to come with certain built-in enemies, right? But let's ask it anyway.
Why did Justinia have so many enemies?
There were many who felt she was unfit to be divine. She had a past, a worldly life. Unlike many, she wasn't given to the Chantry as a child. She chose it, and somehow that made her unworthy. And because they thought she was unworthy, they wished her harm.
It's one thing if you were given to the Chantry and had no other choice, kind of like I don't know if Sebastian's the best example, but like, if she went through a life and chose to give everything up to become part of the Chantry, wouldn't that make her more worthy? But I feel like that's a deep theological discussion that I don't want to get into. Sounds like a spymaster. Yeah, she does sound like a spymaster.
So, you were her spymaster too.
I handled difficult situations that couldn't be resolved through more delicate means.
Okay. Yes, tell me about yourself.
Let's talk about you.
Me?
Do you have any stories?
Bards tell tales. I bet you tell some good ones.
There are plenty of tales in the library. Perhaps you should look for them there.
Okay, tell me about your past. It's so sad. Lily was always so good at telling stories, but she's not going to do that anymore. Oh.
What did you do before you worked for the divine?
I was a bard, an Orlesian spy for many years. For a time, I also served a small cloister in Lothering. After the Blight, the Divine called on me to oversee her personal network.
I don't know if I'd like to be a bard, but is it an option? I feel like that's a rogue thing, right?
Can you teach me to be a bard?
Being a bard is so much more than being a spy. It involves a keen understanding of politics, the ebb and flow of influence, the great game. The bard's is an intricate dance where a smile can be sharper than any dagger. The best way to learn is to immerse yourself in it. Perhaps when this is all over, I'll teach you.
I don't think Theron would be a good bard or a spy. I just don't feel like that's him. You are well connected.
You seem to know a great many people.
I have made friends, and on occasion enemies. It's unavoidable.
Oh, great, you met the hero for Veldon.
You have a history with the warden who ended the Blight, don't you?
I count him among my closest friends. I still write to him for advice when I can. He hasn't replied to my letters in some time. I try not to worry about it. He can take care of himself.
Well, Edward did run off with Morgan, so maybe they're still in that place they went to. I forget what she called it, but anyway, did you know Hawk?
They say you spent some time in Lothering. Did you know the champion?
We spoke a few times. I seldom left the Chantry, and we never became more than casual acquaintances. I saw more of the Hawk twins. Bethany in particular. She would spend time in meditation at the chantry, and she seemed to like my stories. The other one, the young man, he was a little surly. I did encounter the champion again later in Kirkwall. Those were terrible times.
I mean, Carver was a little surly, but it's weird. I don't remember there being any sort of recognition between Aaron and Leliana in Dragon Age 2, but maybe I'm just forgetting that as well. So why were they terrible? Is that one of those star ones? Yes, let's go with that one.
Was this when the chantry was destroyed?
No, that happened later. But even then, the news coming out of Kirkwall was disheartening. There were some in Varric who wanted the Divine to declare an exalted march on Kirkwall. Justina sent me there to see if that could be avoided, to gather evidence to calm those agitating for war. I guess it didn't matter in the end.
How do you know Josephine?
You seem to know Josephine quite well.
I met her a long time ago, but we didn't become good friends until years later. After the Blight, in fact. I'd just returned to Varric, and she welcomed me back by throwing a diplomatic ball. She was the Antivan ambassador at the time, you see. The ball was... all right. Too many politicians. At midnight, Josie and I left to find a real party. We've been friends ever since.
A real party?
What do you consider a real party?
It's not a real party until someone's small clothes are pinned to a chantry board. And that's all I'm saying about it.
Oh, that's a good reference. Yes, any updates?
Anything I should know?
I've nothing to report at the moment.
Okay, carry on.
I'll leave you to your work.
All right, so it does seem to me that it's happened multiple times now where at some point it just kicks you out of the conversation, which is kind of weird. But I think what I'll end up doing is just compiling everything together so that it's a little bit less back and forth. I still love that I can jump. I do it out of habit with other games, but now it doesn't pause the game for me. What is the pause button? Control, that's right. Anyway, as I was saying, I think I'll just compile them all and make it less back and forth in the final edit of the video. Let's go into somebody else's house. Oh, something to read. Patient observations, day 3. Well, I missed day 2 somewhere. Less thrashing, some response to stimulus vitals seems solid. 2 attempts so far by locals to break into the chantry to kill my patient. All this work to save his life, and will they just execute him? Will inform Lady Cassandra I expect him to wake before the morn. That would have been me, but is it me? Well, it must have been me before everything. So where am I at right now? So it looks like Varric is up here, so let's see if I can talk to him, but let's loot this thing first. This bag of stuff. Crafting supplies. All right, let's quick save and talk to Varric.
So, now that Cassandra's out of earshot, are you holding up all right? I mean, you go from being the most wanted criminal in Thedas to joining the armies of the faithful. Most people would have spread that out over more than one day.
I'm glad to be alive. Yes, I can barely keep up, kind of. This is bullshit. I'm fine. Too many people died up there. I'm gonna go with I can barely keep up.
I have no idea what's happening anymore.
That makes 2 of us. For days now, we've been staring at the breach, watching demons and maker knows what fall out of it. Bad for morale would be an understatement. I still can't believe anyone was in there and lived.
Why did you stay?
If it was that bad, why did you stay? Cassandra said you were free to go.
I like to think I'm as selfish and irresponsible as the next guy, but this... Thousands of people died on that mountain. I was almost one of them. And now there's a hole in the sky. Even I can't walk away and just leave that to sort itself out.
I mean, you could, but it says something about you as a person that you didn't. Yeah, it kind of hasn't sunk in yet. It really hasn't.
I'm still not sure I believe that any of this is really happening.
If this is all just the Maker winding us up, I hope there's a damn good punchline coming. You might want to consider running at the first opportunity. I've written enough tragedies to recognize where this is going. Heroes are everywhere. I've seen that. But the hole in the sky, that's beyond heroes. We're going to need a miracle.
Thanks. That's okay. All right, let's try and talk to Varric.
Need something?
Yes. Oh, let's ask about Hawk first.
I've read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
Ooh, where are Hawk's friends? Well, let's ask the other two first. Orsino's fate made no sense.
In the book, you say that
Oh.
first enchanter Orsino turned himself into a giant monster made of corpses. How? Why?
Right?
Do I look like an expert on magical weirdness to you? Well, I can't tell you how. For the why, all I can say is he was desperate.
That's okay. You made up the Aeroshock fight?
There is no way Hawk really could have killed the Aeroshock. It would have started a war with the Qunari.
I was told later that the Qunari disavowed his actions. Apparently, the Aeroshock didn't get permission before he attacked Kirkwall, and the Qun didn't want another exalted march. When they finally sent a ship to haul the wrecked dreadnought away, they just said, "We will never speak of this again." As far as I can tell, that's the Qun's version of an apology.
That would have been nice to have in Dragon Age 2. That would have been funny. Okay, but where are Hawk's friends?
Where are the rest of Hawk's associates now?
Meryl decided to look after the elves left homeless by the fighting. She's done a pretty good job of keeping them away from the mages and Templars, so far. I guess she has plenty of practice avoiding stupid human battles with her old Dalish clan. Fenris has kept himself busy, hunting down the Tevinter slavers who came south to prey on the refugees. I'm not sure exactly where he is at the moment. You can usually follow the trail of corpses, though. Isabella went back to the raiders. She's calling herself an admiral now.
Of course she is.
I don't know if she's actually in charge or just has a really big hat. Might be the same thing, honestly. Sebastian went back to Starkhaven. I'm sure he's boring all sorts of people there.
No doubt.
Hawk's little sister is in the Free Marches, helping some of the other survivors from the Kirkwall Circle.
Aw.
Aveline is still guard captain. I'm pretty sure Kirkwall would fall into the sea if she quit her job.
Yeah, it probably would. Yes, I have a personal question.
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
How do you know Cassandra?
How do you and Cassandra know each other?
You heard about the Kirkwall Chantry being destroyed? The guy responsible used to be a friend of mine. The Seeker had questions about that, and I had answers.
Yeah. Where are you from? Well, hang on. Let me just double check. Yes, where are you from?
You from Ferelden? Orlais?
Free Marches, born and raised in Kirkwall. And despite whatever you've heard, no, Kirkwall's not that bad.
What do you do?
I'm not clear on your line of work. You're a merchant?
I'm a businessman. My family has a seat in the Dwarven Merchants Guild. Merchants buy and sell goods. Businessmen buy and sell stores. In my spare time, I manage a spy network, and occasionally, I write books.
You're quite busy there, Varric. Could you do Leliana's job? I don't think so.
If you've run a spy network, why is Leliana our spymaster?
To be honest with you, she's just a better spymaster. The truly great ones can keep their distance. They don't get attached to their people. Me, I always wind up babysitting my informants and worrying about their families. We're in better hands with her.
Okay. What books do you write? I mean, he's kind of famous, right?
You're an author? What kind of books have you written?
I've tried my hands at a few genres. My crime serials are my most popular. Hard in Hightown, guards breaking the rules to get things done. The Tale of the Champion is the most famous thing I've written, or infamous maybe. I started a romance serial once, Swords and Shields, but to be honest, I don't have a knack for romances. Most of my stories end in tragedy. Probably that says something unfortunate about me personally.
Well, you tend to write from people you know, and nothing. I feel like everything was tragic in Dragon Age 2. Well, not everything, but you know what I mean. Anyway, what shops do you own?
What sort of shops do you own?
Actually, we don't own shops. That was just an example. Mostly we invest in moneylenders. Auction houses, a few mercenary companies, a couple of smithies. I think we own half a beet plantation in Ravane somewhere. Most of that's my brother's doing. Bartrand had business sense. Not much tact, but loads of business sense.
No, you're right. He didn't have much tact. Tell me about the crossbow.
Where did you get that crossbow? I've never seen one like it.
Bianca? She's one of a kind. Funny story. I bought a salvaged ship and found her locked in a dragon bone reinforced chest in the hold. I broke 36 lockpicks and blunted 9 saws opening that trunk, but it was worth it.
That doesn't make any sense. It kind of contradicts everything that we know about it. Okay, why Bianca?
Who is she named for?
I can't tell you.
Why not?
And the reason for that is...
Complicated. It's the one story I'll never tell. We just have to leave it at that.
Okay, tell me about red lyrium.
The red lyrium we found at the temple seemed to upset you.
My brother Bartrand and I sort of discovered red lyrium during an expedition in the Deep Roads. We located an ancient thaig, so old it barely looked dwarven. There was this idol there made of it. Bartrand brought it back to the surface, and, well, everything's gone downhill from there.
What is it exactly?
So what is it? Just another kind of lyrium?
The red stuff is lyrium like a dragon is a lizard. It's not just a different color. It has a whole host of weirdness all its own. I've written to every mining cast house in Orzammar. No one's seen this stuff before or knows where it came from.
Interesting. You'd think dwarves would have. If anybody would have it, would it be dwarves? Well, what can it do? I mean, I know it makes people crazy, but Theron doesn't know that.
What makes it special?
Regular lyrium can mess you up pretty badly, but you have to ingest it for that to happen. Red lyrium messes with your mind when you're just near the stuff. You hear singing, get violent, paranoid, and then it does creepy shit. Makes things float, brings statues to life.
Right?
I've had a few alchemists studying it in Kirkwall, in shifts.
Okay, how is that going? You have a piece of it that thankfully doesn't seem like Varric has been damaged by it yet.
Why do you have red lyrium?
My brother kept a sliver when he sold it. I'm pretty sure he held on to it because it was already talking to him. That little shard drove him mad. I had him taken to a sanitarium and eventually found the fragment in his house. We brought the shit to the surface, Bartrand and I. I wanted to find out if there was a way to shut it up. So far, it looks like the answer is no.
Isn't that dangerous? Yeah.
If red lyrium is as dangerous as you say, why do you keep it?
I've heard that shit singing to me. I know better than anyone how bad it is. In Orzammar, miners keep regular, non-crazy raw lyrium in special lead-lined containers. Actually, it's a huge secret how they're constructed. Keeps surface folk from horning in on the lyrium trade. I pulled a lot of strings and got a smith to build me 4 of them nested inside each other. Nobody gets to study it up close for more than an hour, and they have to wait a week between shifts.
Wow, that's some hefty paranoia there, Varric, but probably obviously for good reasons. Okay, why was it in the temple?
How did the red lyrium get in the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
I don't know. As far as I knew, there was only one small piece of the original idol we brought out of the Deep Roads. And it's locked in a vault in Kirkwall, one I had built by the mining cast especially to hold it.
I think that's enough on red lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject.
Okay, well that brings us to the end with Varric, I'm assuming, for right now. I'm assuming we'll talk to them more later. But I did get a new quest. Inner Circle. Oh, cool picture. Look, there's Cassandra and Leliana. I don't really recognize... Oh, there's Solas, Solas, one of those two. And I'm assuming the short one here is Varric, but anyway, an Inquisition is nothing without an inner circle of power brokers and battle masters. Recruiting talent and strengthening ties with them is all but essential to succeed. We have seen red. Varric saw enough red lyrium in Kirkwall for one lifetime. Now it's everywhere. And the worst of it, it sings like the shard that drove his brother mad. Varric would take no small pleasure in destroying those. Locate and destroy primeval red lyrium nodes. So I have to find 12 of them. Okay, well, let's keep wandering around. Let's finish this circle here, and then we'll go down in this section. So I keep hitting R. It's not R this time. It's a different one. Oh, wait. What's this? The Singing Maiden. Okay, well, I'm definitely not going to read that. At least not right this second. Oh, it's a
Researcher
bar.
Renee wishes to use some inexpensive
I'll keep an eye out.
spirits.
The mages, the Templars,
She wishes to light creatures'
everyone
corpse
ready
on
to
fire to
talk.
determine whether it
And
is
now all from the
specifically
dead.
vulnerable to heat.
just like that.
Going to be bloody now. That's for certain.
Well, everybody was talking at once, but this woman was asking for alcohol so Maeve could set corpses on fire and see what happens?
I suppose you're right.
Oh my goodness, and there's a bard.
You're certain?
It's just what I heard.
This is beautiful. Ugh. All right, let's not get distracted by pretty singing things. A Tale of the Frostbacks. Okay. Can I talk to anyone else? Oh, Flissa. Let's save, and then we'll talk to Flissa.
Oh, Maker, you were him. You were the Herald of Andraste, and you were sent to test us, to see whether we would accept a Cunari as Andraste's chosen. I think everyone is worthy of love. The Maker just makes some of us larger and greyer than others. I'm Flissa. Can I get you a drink?
Well, I'm definitely larger. I didn't go with the gray skin toned. But let's just say Kunari must make you nervous.
You haven't met many Kunari before, have you?
No. You'd be the first. As I said, I'm Flissa. The Inquisition soldiers needed a place to unwind, so Leliana brought me in to set up a tavern. Nothing fancy, but it's safer for the soldiers than looking for trouble in some village.
Yeah, that's a good point. How do you know Leliana?
You said Leliana asked you to run an Inquisition tavern. How did you meet?
Dumb luck, mainly. I managed an inn back in Denerim. When I heard interesting gossip, I'd pass word to Leliana. Sometimes it was helpful. She asked if I wanted to own my own tavern, and I said yes. I didn't realize she meant this.
She just gave you a tavern. Did we meet her in Denerim in Origins? I don't remember. Huh. Oh well. What can I find in Haven?
What can you tell me about this area?
Adan is Haven's apothecary. He's been making potions and tending to the wounded as best he can. Harrit is the Inquisition smith. Whatever he can make you, Thren the quartermaster can probably find. And for anything fancier, you can try buying from Segrit. His prices aren't too high. Yet. Oh, there's also Maeve. She studies beasts and things, as I understand.
Yeah, it's fine. She's a little odd, but it's okay.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
Oh, apparently I've collected more songs just being in the same room as this lovely bard. Oh, so beautiful. But I'm gonna leave. I'll probably get like copyright strike or something. Or copyright whatever. Anyway. Well, let's go up here. And there's Solus, but let's not talk to him today. Let's look around just a smidgen more. These are nice little cabins. Wow, really tall ceilings. Oh, there was something here to read. Nope, maybe. The Randy Dowager Quarterly. Oh, I'm totally gonna read that one. Oh, that's gonna be like the love letters, maybe? And then, It looks like, I'm guessing, yeah, this is the apothecary. But we're pretty much at time for today, or just under, depending how much I creatively edit out of conversations with Leliana and Varric. But yeah, this is where I'm going to stop. And then tomorrow we'll talk to the apothecary, talk to Solus. Maybe we'll get outside the gates. I don't know. We'll have to see how everything goes, because it looks like I need to go down to the blacksmith. And there's merchants and Cullen and Cassandra and so many people this will talk to. But we'll get through it all eventually. Well, I'm just going to be my slow, pokey self. As always, though, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow with another new Dragon Age Inquisition video.